How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you? Staying safe?
I am staying safe, doing my best to entertain myself. And how about you?
Yep, just practicing social distancing. You know, trying to stay busy, stay billable, just like a lot of folks out there right now.
You look very cute.
Yeah, I had to pick a stand-in for this, so it ended up being David Tennant, between David Tennant and an Overwatch action figure. So I figured this one's probably a little bit more human.
Yeah, it's very cute. Okay, I'm trying to turn on this questions thing, see if that works. But all right.
Somebody says I have a consulting voice.
You do actually. Hi, Joe. All right. Well, shall we get started?
Yeah.
So, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm very lucky today to have ConsultingHumor on live with me today, so I can ask him a few questions, just bring us some entertainment on a Friday afternoon. And I've probably been following the ConsultingHumor Instagram since like 5 years ago, since I joined consulting. So I've followed you along this whole time. So it's really exciting to be able to chat with you today. Thank you for coming online with me.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, I'll kick off first with a question that I have myself. So how did you get into doing all of this?
Well, so it happened by chance. Actually, I started off on Fishbowl some time ago, back when Fishbowl was much smaller. And I was going on there looking for career advice, and also saw that some people were posting some memes. I was like, oh yeah, I could contribute some content.
Mm-hmm.
And I started posting there, and what's really funny is I think it was somebody from Deloitte who said that I was spamming content. I was like, what, you don't want content? Fine, that's fine. But I actually started the Instagram as a holding tank for memes. And then this just kind of, took on a life of its own.
Oh, wow.
Really unexpected.
So how do you get the creativity to create like all this content and memes and everything?
Well, it's easier when you're working. And most of the content is autobiographical. And it's interesting because, I did come from a boutique background before I joined up with Big Four. And at that point, when I was creating content, I was wondering if people would find it relatable. It was just stuff about myself, really, that I was going through. And as it turned out, it's something that it seems like, no matter what background you come from, no matter what firm, big or small, you work for, if you're a part of the traditional consulting firm model, these are some of the things that everybody deals with at one point or another.
Yeah, I can say for myself, it's definitely very relatable, and it gives me some really good laughs every day. So the question, are you a consultant yourself then now? And how do you juggle both if you are?
So I very much am a consultant. Juggling both, it's not too hard. I would say creating content, if it's just a flat meme, takes probably no longer than like 20-30 seconds if you have the idea already. Mm-hmm. And there's plenty of tropes that have been kind of built up. But yeah, it just comes through, browsing like Reddit or, Twitter, just kind of looking around. And then if something kind of pops out, kind of putting a consulting spin on that. Right?
Yeah, that makes sense. And like, do you find yourself doing it obviously like on weekends and stuff like that?
Usually early mornings. I tend to also leverage bathroom time. That's, one of the few times that, we have to ourselves before bed. Basically, anytime something comes up that I find interesting, I'll usually make a note or take a screenshot of it and save it kind of for later to kind of put some captions or words around. Yeah.
No, that's a good idea. Also, I wanted to mention, if you guys have any questions, feel free to send them through on the comments as well. And we will see if we can answer some of them as we go. Another question I had was, what are like the funniest things that you've been sent through to your Instagram that you can share?
I think the funniest thing was the guy standing up without clothes. Somebody sent me a Zoom meeting of,
Oh, the Zoom meeting.
yeah, that was crazy. I feel so bad for the guy. It was around the same time as somebody on Facebook, I think, was circulating this young lady going to the bathroom and not turning off her camera. But I think that the guy standing up just completely nude was way worse.
Yeah, it is hilarious. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go and watch it and don't make that mistake. I've got a question. Given that you're a gamer, would you entertain the possibility of creating a regiment in Warzone called MBBD?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you're on the Discord, I have my Battle.net information out on there. If you want to go a few rounds, yeah, let's do it. It's got to be the best, though.
I need to learn what that is, I think. Also, there was another question I saw come through. Can you share your level?
I'm a senior consultant.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I have to ask, you can be biased in this question. Who is your favorite consultancy?
My favorite consultancy? Wow. I'm going to say Deloitte, but it's not just because you guys are hosting. It's because I think Deloitte, just as a firm, has a lot of personality and a lot of tropes built around it, good and bad. I think there's both out there, but it definitely has a lot of distinguishing features about it. I think that it's really easy to describe Deloitte without saying Big Four or Deloitte or kind of giving away any of that information. But it's really hard to describe, say, PwC and EY or something like that, right? Like, and it's easier to say even like KPMG. KPMG has a lot more visibility in the media, even if people don't know what they do. Like, you know, watching like Daily Show or SNL, and like they'll make jokes about KPMG because A, it's really easy to say, and B, they think that, you know, KPMG is comprised completely of accountants. You know.
Yeah, and shout out, I used to work at KPMG as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say in terms of you know, my preference, content-wise, Deloitte definitely gives me an endless stream of possibilities and memes and things like that.
Oh, hot. Maybe a little bit of biased answer, but I will take it. We have another question. It says, my entire firm follows your account, but my favorites are those showing chains of command, unclear instructions. Is this worse in consulting than elsewhere, do you think?
So, I mean, I can only really speak for myself on this. Prior to consulting, I was actually in academic research. So things were a little bit open-ended, more open-ended there. Instruction, I think, just by nature, was a little bit more clear. You know, but I think that it's a common enough trope in consultancy that, you know, just kind of being handed, hey, you know, turn this into a slide, or, you know, just do this or do that for me without a lot of context. I think that's just something that is, you know, an overarching theme from consulting. But I would like to say that, you know, even if that's the case, it matters so much person to person, practice to practice. I would say, you know, the firm almost doesn't matter at that point. I wouldn't say that this is more prevalent in any firm, but, you know, it does come down to the individual people, the leadership, the individual projects that you're working that really determines, you know, how these things are handled.
That is true. I would agree. And I think another question I had is just like, and I think a lot of people agree, I don't know, but reading your like posts and your memes and just knowing that there's other people out there that are experiencing the same sort of things, it's just really comforting. Do you ever get that sort of feedback?
I do. And, you know, when I do, it really does make me feel like I'm accomplishing, you know, something greater than just memes, right? And sometimes, you know, people are going through really rough patches, and you know, if it comes through like that, I always try to do a little bit of something to you know, make their day a little bit better if I can.
Yeah, and especially I think during this time when we're like relying a lot on technology and we're at home, definitely the extra entertainment provided is, I think, well received by everyone.
Yeah, I see a lot of people using this time to make some TikTok videos, some really cool stuff. Um, yeah, I think that's a really, really cool thing that people are spending their time doing because they don't have any other options. But
Yeah.
it's really opening up the the floodgates for creativity, and it's really cool to see.
Got another question. Assuming you don't make consulting humor into a full-time job, do you think you'll stay in consulting forever or exit to industry?
So I think that a big part of consulting is looking for a really sweet industry exit. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I think that, I think people can agree that partner track, MD track is not really for everybody. And there comes probably a time, I would say, between like senior consultant and senior manager, sometime in that window where there's a really great opportunity, and luck is a big factor here, but, a really great opportunity to contribute and also get back more for what you put in. I think that's a struggle that a lot of people go within consultancy after a number of years. They start to wonder, like, if what I'm doing right now, if it's worth the amount of money that I'm getting, right? If it, if you're just looking at money or lifestyle or something like that. Well, let's just look at money. And at that level, a lot of people end up exiting, especially if they don't like, all the persistent travel and some of the other things that come along with it, and have made really fruitful careers afterwards, and have been really happy. Yeah,
that's true. I think it's a very personal thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether you stay or you do something different. I have another good question. Who is your favorite consulting meme account other than yours?
I would say crazy management consultants, definitely.
Well, do you know did you start first or did they start first?
They started first. I was actually probably in my peer group the last one to start in consulting comedy. Then I guess they were management consulting memes, crazy management consultants, and This Is My Consulting Life were the three consulting themed ones that were around at the time, along with Let's Get Fiscal. And of course, Big Four accountant on the accountancy side. But just for the consultancy side, I think there were four at the time.
I see. And got time for a couple more questions. Got one. What's your favorite consulting firm related gaffe/scandal to make fun of in the past few years?
Oh, gosh. It's kind of tough to say. I wouldn't say that any of them are my favorite, because they all come at the cost of something, right? Whether it be, and a lot of these things happen far in the past. It's just, when they come to light in the media, say, for example, EY's thing about the waffles and pancakes, it all comes at a cost to somebody. But that doesn't mean that it should be immune from, satire or ridicule. I think that's a big part of what we can do to kind of bring visibility to that, even though it's kind of not a not cool situation. Having said that, I would say anything that McKinsey does that is just ridiculous, that people kind of sweep under the rug. Like, I don't know, the time I think McKinsey held a corporate retreat miles away from some kind of forced labor camp. Jesus, like, it's really bad for optics. But like I said, I wouldn't tag any of them my favorite. But these days, what's really funny to me is McKinsey's hand in the COVID and their slides. I was talking to a friend of mine about it, and I absolutely love those slides. And I think that it's amazing because, a lot of consultants will give them, crap about, wow, like this would never be a client-ready slide. Well, you got to think about the audience. Like, these are perfect slides. These are amazing slides given the audience that they're, trying to reach out to. Just really simple, almost comical. But they absolutely serve their purpose. And I really want to know who's making them because I just think they're like artful.
Well, on that note, I think I've kept you for long enough. Thank you so much for coming online with me, doing a Q&A. It was really fun. And I'm definitely looking forward to more of your content to keep me entertained and everyone else